What you just saw there was one of the most dreaded shifts in the repertoire from Tchaikovsky's Rococo Variations. I think this particular shift really sort of causes sleepless nights for even the most experienced soloists out there. So in today's little exercise, I want to examine why it is that very often these shifts work beautifully in the practice room, but the moment we are on stage or sitting in an audition, we start to get the jitters. And I've thought about that a little bit, and I think the problem is that more often than not, we simply focus on the completely wrong thing, i.e. our left hand. When in actual fact, the reason 99% of shifting accidents generally happen is because of a loss of control and therefore coordination in the right hand. So I have come up with a little trick for myself that really helps me on stage and that I teach to all of my students. And that is to imagine that the shift is entirely executed by the bow. In other words, we are going to focus entirely on having the perfect bow change, and we tell ourselves that if we do the perfect bow change, the shift comes for free, because that is usually what ends up happening. If we have a really, really controlled bow change, very, very rarely will we miss a shift. So now that is not all that easy, and it really takes practice, because it's one of those exercises which is designed to rewire your brain. Because of course you have a shift coming up, the first thing your brain starts doing is trying to micromanage your left hand, completely forget about the bow, and that's when accidents happen. Yeah. So what we're going to do, you don't have to start with the most extreme kind of shift as I just showed you. We can start with something much more simple, like, I don't know, B to G. And I simply want you to imagine that the left hand is a puppet, the right hand is a puppet master, and it's the right hand that moves the left hand. And I also want you to try actually looking at your right arm, because if you don't look at your left hand, you won't be worrying about the left hand quite so much. Yeah, so look at your right arm and aim for the perfect bow change. Nice and slow. Yeah, really nice controlled bow change. And then you see, I don't even have to think about the bow. So that is something that you might have to practice for a while to really get your head around. But once you do, it really, really, really helps. And I just have that little shortcut for myself when I'm on stage and I have a big shift coming up. I simply tell myself, perfect bow change, and the shift will come for free. And in my experience, that really, really helps. So give that a go.